SpaceX has officially confirmed it. Starship Flight 11 is launching today. After weeks of intense testing, checkouts, and final pad inspections, the countdown is now underway. But this isn't just another Starship launch. This could mark the final flight of the current design, as SpaceX prepares for a massive shift toward its next-generation system. Today marks an important milestone, as at around 6:15 p.m. SpaceX is set to launch the highly anticipated Flight 11 of Starship. Before this historic moment, a series of major preparations had already been completed. Ship 38, after being fully loaded with Starlink satellites, was rolled out to the launch pad and stacked atop Booster 15. SpaceX officially confirmed the significance of this mission, stating, "This is planned to be the final launch from Pad 1 at Starbase in its current configuration." Indeed, this flight carries a dual meaning. It represents not only the final flight of the Starship version 2 configuration, but also the last launch to take place from Pad 1 in its current design. It's farewell time for version 2 but also for the original launch mount. On the 7th of this month, a road closure was posted for the following day at 10 a.m. local, stating it was from the production site to the pad. With such importance attached to this mission, every step of preparation has been treated with extreme precision and care. One of the most critical factors for a smooth and successful launch is the weather. Fortunately, current conditions at Starbase are favorable. It can change suddenly and it remains an unpredictable element. The SpaceX team will continue to closely monitor every shift in atmospheric conditions right up until launch time to ensure the rocket lifts off in the safest possible window. While external factors like weather play a role, the success of this flight will depend even more on the systems developed and maintained by SpaceX itself. The ground infrastructure, including the OLM, the chopstick system, the QD system and the tank farm must all perform flawlessly. Engineers have been conducting continuous inspections and checkouts on these systems since the rocket was fully stacked. Each of these systems carries its own risks. The QD system, for example, could experience issues such as fuel leaks or connection faults, while pumps within the tank farm could fail to provide sufficient pressure to fuel the rocket. These problems, if they arise, can lead to a scrubbed launch attempt. SpaceX has faced such challenges in the past, which is why extreme caution and constant supervision are necessary during final stages of preparation. The vehicle itself also requires close attention. Many leaks within the propellant tanks or connecting pipes could cause a delay or even a full cancellation of the launch attempt. Such issues often only reveal themselves during the actual fueling process, making last-minute troubleshooting crucial. In addition, several key components on board Starship must perform perfectly to ensure mission success. The heat shield, which has received significant upgrades since the previous flight, will face one of its toughest tests yet as it protects the vehicle during atmospheric re-entry. This system's performance is especially important for Starship's future, as upcoming. What is intriguing is that the landing hazard area is smaller for Flight 11 compared to others. At the same time, it'll be the very last from this pad in its current configuration, given that the Block 2 Starship design has been made redundant by all the vehicles that will follow. Booster 15 and Ship 38 are those two vehicles that were set to be stacked together. After Flight 11, the action moves from here at Pad 1 to the rapidly evolving Pad 2. If keeping track of operations at Starbase has taught us anything, it's that SpaceX doesn't keep old hardware around for long. As we now know, Booster 15 is not coming back for a catch. Instead, it will splash down in the ocean, and they are now even performing a new engine firing sequence during the landing burn to improve the efficiency of the booster. The Raptor engines both on the booster and the ship will also play vital roles, not only in reaching orbit but also in executing complex maneuvers, including controlled landings and engine relights. Meanwhile, the flaps, particularly the aft flaps, have drawn attention as well. They suffered damage in the previous flight, and engineers have been working tirelessly to ensure that issues does not recur. Another system to keep an eye on is the payload mechanism, which functioned exceptionally well on the last mission. Its continued reliability will be essential for maintaining the success of Starship's orbital and payload deployment operations. All these systems, from ground infrastructure to vehicle structure and payload systems, are being carefully verified during these final hours before liftoff. While these last-minute checkouts may not seem as dramatic as the earlier major preparations, they are among the most important tasks leading up to launch. They can determine not only whether the rocket leaves the ground on time, but also whether the mission achieves its objectives once it does. As Flight 11 nears launch, it's worth pausing to acknowledge the unwavering commitment of the SpaceX team. Their meticulous craftsmanship and tireless pursuit of excellence are the driving forces behind every successful Starship mission. The 11th Starship flight is only hours away, and it promises to be another historic step toward humanity's future in space. As SpaceX has confirmed, Flight 11 will mark the final mission of both the current Starship Version 2 configuration and the use of Pad 1 in its existing layout. In preparation for what comes next, let's begin at the production site, where a flurry of activity has followed the departure of Ship 38 to the launch pad. As for the final Version 2 mission, Flight 11 closes one chapter and opens another. Stars have spent weeks perfecting Ship 38 and Booster 15 to ensure the design's reliability before transitioning to the Version 3 generation, now nearing completion. A successful mission could accelerate the debut of the first Version 3 flight by year's end, propelling SpaceX toward its goal of making Starship the foundation of human expansion beyond Earth. One of the most notable movements was that of a new test tank, which left Mega Bay 2 and was transported to the Star Factory. Since this tank originated from Mega Bay 2, where ship prototypes are typically developed, it's believed to be a test tank for the upcoming ship version rather than the booster-focused designs like TT-17 and 18.3 at Massey. This suggests that the tank could incorporate several upgrades that will define the new Version 3 ship. Once further modifications are made inside the Star Factory, it's expected to move to Massey for a series of pressure and stress tests, marking another important step toward refining Starship's future design. In addition, a new lifting jig has arrived at Mega Bay 2. This equipment, noticeably different from previous versions, will likely serve as the primary support rig for the construction and assembly of the first Version 3 ship. Its presence is a strong signal that the next-generation vehicle's assembly is imminent. This moment carried more meaning than just another stack. It was also the final time we would see Starship assemble to top the six-legged orbital launch mount in its current form. Between now and then, engineers will monitor every component of the launch system, including the rocket itself, the orbital launch mount, the chopsticks, the fuel systems, and other ground infrastructure. Flight 11 represents a major milestone for SpaceX. It's not just another test, it's a bridge between generations. Once Flight 11 concludes, Pad 1 will undergo major redesigns to prepare for the next generation of Starship known as Version 3. While the rocket may return to launch from this more reusable system. However, early installations would require extra care, as the payload system would need to withstand the stresses of vibration testing and environmental exposure throughout the ship's development phase. The engineering team must strike a delicate balance between convenience and protection to ensure mission reliability. Can SpaceX successfully open that new door to the future? And there you have it, SpaceX's Starship Flight 11 is officially go for launch. The final checks are done, the pad is clear, and the next few hours will decide how far Starship has really come. The next generation Starship design and future Mars flights. Whatever happens today, one thing's for sure, SpaceX is closer than ever to making history. If you enjoyed this update, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the moment Flight 11 takes off, we'll break down every second right here.
And that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for today's update. If you enjoyed watching and found it useful, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And if you want to support our channel and if you want to be up to date, you can become an exclusive member, so click on our perks through the link in the description below. Thanks to watching and see you next time.